Hello and welcome back to another Pauper video. Before I get started, I just want to quickly talk about what I'm trying to do on the channel. So I guess there's two kind of streams I can imagine for Pauper content. One is, competitively focused. So my schedule doesn't really fit up to ever playing challenges and the like. So I don't think I'm ever going to be playing, higher stakes events. I'm more or less just looking to have fun, brew around, and play some leagues. Then I can play a few games here and there, and that works for my schedule. The other thing that you can imagine doing quite a lot of is brewing up completely new decks. I'm under the impression there's quite a lot of these kind of things, and again, I'm not too interested in spending the money playing some decks I don't have any faith in into leagues. So that kind of leaves in the middle. So that's the kind of very zany out there brews. I don't think that's really me either. So what does that leave as kind of what I'm thinking of being like a niche? So rather than being completely out there brews or very competitive, I'm just trying to generate some new ideas, probably mostly for existing decks. Things that are variants, tweaks that could be good, could be interesting, could be a variation that people might be interested in picking up and trying. So I think I've kind of done some of this already. Probably like the Boros list I started playing Snacker in when it wasn't castable. I think probably people have gone away from that now, but it was interesting for a time, and if the format slows down, I think that's still a plausible way to go. The mono black kind of sacrifice shell, I don't think people were playing Reaping the Graves for a while, and I kind of found that as being a really powerful card in that deck. Maybe not everyone agrees, but I think that's definitely a way to kind of push that forwards a little bit. And then there's things like I've just done a Rakdos Madness Affinity / mashup deck where you're kind of playing like Rakdos Madness still. Probably opponents still think you are, but I've cut nearly all the burn spells out of it. So they're known quantity decks. Boros is known. The Black Sacrifice Shell is kind of known. Rakdos Madness and Affinity is certainly known things. But trying to share some ideas on synergies, cards that work well together, and then if people want to take them on and brew further, they can. So from that point onwards, what's today's deck? So the idea behind today's deck is I don't really get how there's not been people playing a Tron deck using the full set of Cash Grab Malevolent Rumble. Essentially they're slightly more expensive than Ancient Stirrings, but the appeal to me is you can either find your Urza's land or you can find your top end creatures. And then furthermore, there's a certain kind of density of cards that interact from the graveyard. So Bannerhide, forgotten that I never actually said this card's name before. Bannerhide, Krushok, Bramble Wurm, for example. If you're putting these into the graveyard with a Cash Grab Malevolent Rumble, you get some value later. And the other thing that I'd be keen to do in this kind of show is recommission Evolution Witness. So this is a 2-man with an Evolution Witness in the graveyard. This is a 2-mana 3/2 that instantly returns a permanent from your graveyard to your hand. So it kind of buys itself back. Permanent in this deck, I'm imagining some of the time is an Urza's land that you've milled over from one of these effects and couldn't take, if you see 2 of them. Alternatively, it's one of the top end creatures. And then finally, we've got the kind of Bannerhide, Krushok, recommission synergy, Evolution Witness synergy, so we can scavenge or reinforce onto this to get some more counters to bring back something else. So the purpose of this deck is the dumb big green monster Tron, and then we've got some kind of graveyard synergy, and we're powered by having a bunch of impulse type effects in our green deck to either find our land or find our payoffs. So in the sideboard, because we are milling ourselves a bunch, I want to try Moment's Peace. This is kind of my hedge for red decks. Scout Shard Archer, obviously, just for fairies and the like. Ancient Grudge is the artifact hate I'm kind of going for, because again we're putting a lot of cards into the graveyard. And then Ulamog Crusher and Vines of Vastwood, I guess if we're playing against something like Brood Scale that we need to either kill quickly or disrupt quickly, I want to have access to Ulamog's Crusher. I've got 2 in the main deck, 2 in the sideboard. It's just it's a fun creature if we're playing big dumb Tron, and then Vines of the Vastwood, obviously we can interact with their Brood Scale combo, and this is kind of the lowest mana thing I can find for that slot. So I've not played this deck a bunch before I'm going to jump into this league, but you know, I guess it's kind of a known quantity as to how good it will be. It's not going to be amazing, but at the end of the day we're playing big dumb creatures at reduced rate, so that's kind of a flaw as well. So with that, let's jump into a league. So we're on the play for round 1. This hand is going to be very awkward. I'm going to keep, we've got lands and spells, but obviously if we don't find our Urza's Piece, we could get in trouble. So we can either just rip it off the top, or again we're effectively running 8 impulse effects, so we can find, or hopefully find, the missing piece. And then probably might have seen it on the kind of deck preview, I guess deck introduction thing. But the other thing I'm keen to do with this shell is try and play Tron out of this. Between recommission, recommission hits, Ashnod's Altar, can return Ashnod's Altar, can return Golden Foundry, even Jolted Awake can hit some gas, so perhaps there's something there. So let's play an Energy Refractor and see how awkward the next turns of our game are going to be. Medium. Obviously an ideal would have been hitting the impulse effect. See what the opponent's on. I'm seeing a lot of swamps. So I think this is still lightly Brood Scale, but in my heart I'm hoping they're a sacrifice. So what do we do here? I'm weighing up just playing a 2/3 Nyx-born Hydra to get on board. The alternative would be Forest Cycle Generous Ascent, but that doesn't really do us a whole lot. I could do that next turn if I didn't have a land. Obviously everything else is out the window, so yeah, not the play you're hoping to make in a Tron deck on turn 3, but I like just getting onto the board, and we'll see what they follow up with. So I guess our best draw for next turn would be an Urza's Tout at this point, so we can just slam the Ulamog's Crusher. But we take some again, an impulse effect, just get the card selection going. So we've got the recommission, nothing in the graveyard at the minute. So yeah, they are on Brood Scale, so we've got some Vines of the Vastwoods and Ulamog's Crusher for this matchup. That's kind of solidly the plan. Whether it's any good or not, whether it's good enough or not, who knows. So we do hit a Malevolent Rumble. We miss on the Tron piece, which is a shame. We could take Bannerhide Crushot, put 2 counters on this Nyxborn Hydra. We can use a Scion to recommission the Evolution Witness back. Did we take the Crushot this turn? Can make our land. Make white mana. Let's recommission the Evolution Witness in order to get our land drop the next turn. Obviously still not a Tron piece, but this has trample, so it gets to feel fancy, but it doesn't prevent any damage. So we certainly have some power plants going. I think we've got one of the forests we can get with a generous in. I don't know if these decks tend to play much removal game 1. I guess I'm looking at 2 mana, put 4 counters on there, or basically start putting counters on this. So reinforce 2 here. Get the counters and can pick up the Crushot. Let's get our second forest that I sure hope is in the deck, or this is embarrassing. And then we can rinse and repeat this. So obviously it's a shame that this doesn't have trample in itself. I guess not the showing I would want in game 1. Obviously I think a lot of people, well, whether they make it this far into a video anyway or what, but obviously it's nice to do the thing the deck is trying to do, but you know, we're still, I know the opponent's not interacting with us at all. We've got them on relatively decent clock, we've still got a bunch of cards in hand, and we've not had to draw particularly well to get here, so this looks like this might be having to chump block. Or that could chump block. Let's see what we draw. So the map gets us into our Tron. Once we have Tron, these become basically forest because of the energy refractor. So, and we can get to 7 mana once we've cracked it. So not enough to crush. I think I'm gonna lead on get Tron together. Like I say, tapping my green sources because we've got the energy refractor anyway. Now we can go to combat. Guess we've got 4 more pumps of this onto the witness if we so desire, but you'll probably go onto the Hydra and we're struggling next turn. So we could put 1 set of counters on the Hydra, on the yeah, we can put 1 set of counters on this and still have mana to do this. Don't think it's going to matter, but I'm not interested in returning any of the other stuff from my graveyard at the minute. They're disputing. Yep. This is a nice engine. Get back to Khrushchev. And next turn, for example, we could bring scavenge, sorry, onto the Hydra. So pass back, opponent's drawn about half their deck, so expect they have the Brutescale combo. I think if we can, if somebody says big, dumb, green-white creature deck, I've got to think your Brutescale matchup's pretty atrocious, so if we somehow get out of this with a, well, out of this match with a win, I'd be amazed. But that's why we play the games. Do have a small bit of sideboarding to do, so. So if opponents on snuff outs, they could be, they are very powerful against big dumb creature decks, but it's all rolled up in the advantages of that Brutescale deck. Perhaps playing at the Hydra on turn 2, so I was looking at it just getting a clock, and obviously if it's chipped in for, what, 4 damage before we put counters on it, but this not having trample is certainly coming back to bite us. So they dress, the path is clear, they already know that we're tapped out, so in an ideal world they can't put another creature into play, and well, even if they gain some life off of this, they're having to chump block the witness. Oh, that's another creature. They deadly disputing this as well. Yeah, another insights. They can still draw into the. Or can they draw into the combat this turn? They can't get a creature to die, right? Not that I think we'll be able to kill them dead from here. I guess if they're looking at, do they, maybe they're thinking about, do they sacrifice that or just use it to jump block if they've got a brood scale or a sign token. That's funny. So I don't know if they're looking for a certain part of the combo, but I mean they do now have 3 mana that have creature to kill. But yeah, if they were looking for a specific part of the combo, still missed, and they're 32 cards deep. I've stopped complaining about not finding my Urza's Tower for quite a while now. That seems fair. Well, let's get into combat. They can gain 3 life up to 10. And we're going to work out how many times we can use Banner Hide Krishok on a Nyxborn Hydra. Seems like we've got a lot of mana. And they're having to chump block here. So if they're chump blocking here, sorry, let's take that back a step again. If they're chump blocking here, we're not going to be able to pump this up to 13 power, right? That would be insane. 2, 5, 7 leaves us 6 mana left over. So if we can't do that, my other, appealing thing I can do is just play another trample creature so that they can't double trump next turn. They can put if they make an infinite power brood scale, one of them can block one trample creature, they haven't got something to block the other one. So that means I'm playing this, 2, 4, 6 green, leaves us 2, 5, so 6 mana and a green back. So I guess we can reinforce 2 here and still play the bramble wurm. Hopefully I've counted right and not miss some extra damage. Ah, nice. Didn't think of that. How rude, you were supposed to just take 1,000,000 damage. So still on the plan where we play a second trample creature, and it's now also including that despite them being 32 cards deep, they miss brood scale for another whole turn cycle. I don't know why, when I'm playing removal spells, I think of the Tamio safekeeping, but when I'm just, jamming big dumb creatures into play, it didn't even cross my mind. So they adapt here. You can get back a Glee. They need a Snuff Out or something to have mana to start the chain. It will well and truly feel like we stole this game if we do just have enough trample creatures to get there. So get back a Shambling Ghast. I guess that blocks the loop. Nice. Got there. No questions asked. So sideboarding, Crusher's not great. It does just die to Snuff Out, but at least it's a way to interact and keep them off balance. Binding the Basswood is kind of the, so the money card our hopes are relying on. It does interact with Snuff Out, obviously it also stops brood scale combo. What do we want to cut? I'm looking at... I've not got enough reps with this deck to know whether we have enough green sources and we can cut the Generoscent. Maybe even the Crushers are just too bad and we just need trample creatures. but we only really have a limited number. I think I might actually, on the play, not be on, sorry, on the draw, not be on crushers. No, I want to try them. Cut recommission. Evolution Witness isn't good unless we have the Nyxborn Hydra, or it's, you know, a cheap way to get a Tron piece into play. Like, it was another big creature there, but it didn't actually do any. I don't think it actually did any damage that game. So maybe I do this. It's not the kind of matchup where having a what was I saying? Sorry, it's not the kind of matchup where just having another 3/2 body on board really does anything. Oh, I've cut too many cards here, have I? Oh, because I've only brought in 4. I've cut 6. Again, I'm not really interested in playing Evolution Menace unless I'm recommissioning it. Okay. So let's try no crushers game 1. Oh, sorry, no crushers on the draw, and then we just try and crush them on the play. It doesn't make a lot of sense in that if they're on snap outs anyway, it's not like being a turn ahead of their mana really helps. Well, we have Tron, we have a green source for the Rumble, we just don't have a payoff. Yeah, so it's not like if they're, oh no, we don't have Tron, this is a, I thought this was different, it's 2 power plants. We're quite close to having Tron, we're just an impulse away. Yeah, so if they're just snuff outing anyway, it's not like being on the, not the play draw, opponent's Malevolent to 5. Yeah, if opponent's on snuff outs anyway, it's not like play draw really matters in terms of whether they can hold mana up to interact with the crusher. But you can imagine if we play a turn for Ulamog's crusher, and then they have their turn 5, we have our turn 5 and attack, and that's got to be too slow. If we play it on our turn 4, they have their turn 4, we attack on turn 5, and they have to sacrifice a land, then we might be talking. So opponents had to keep a 1-lander. We find a map which will get Tron online. Sure. Opponent's not having the best of luck over there. I'm going to use the Scion to play the map. Oh no. I was going to say I've used the Scion to play the map, but I don't actually have. I'm not turning Tron on this turn, I still need that land drop. So, play a map, and then we can fetch now for mine. Opponent never finds a second land, and we steal a game against Brewscale. So they didn't find the combo in, or they couldn't put the combo together in the top 30 odd cards, and then they keep a 1-lander and they multiply on a 1-lander and don't get there. Not my proudest game, I'll be honest. So we are back on the play for round 2. we have Tron, we've got some conduit pylons to fix our mana, and nothing else. So let's keep. Not in the business of mulliganing. Trying to sort out my head whether I want to lead on a Tron Lantern one or lead on a Pylons. For the extra card selection, I think I'm going to lead on the Pylons anyway. We have so few purely colourless cards that having turn 3 Tron on its own doesn't really do anything for us. So graveyard this, play a map. And then we're playing Conduit Pylons because we just have a bunch of cards that seem to do something if they go to the graveyard. So we do draw an Energy Refractor, which is one of the few ways of turning that purely colourless into a payoff. What's this? Looks like Rakdos Madness. Let's see to the end step. Get a tower. And I think we're just on map. I can do it now, we're not fooling anybody. Get a power plant. So we're set up to 8 mana on turn 4. Unfortunately, most of it's going to be playing some Energy Refractors and hoping we draw into something good. And then we've got what's it? 4 of the Bramble Themabobs and 2 Generous Senses that are kind of life gain game 1. So a Generous Scent, a Bramble Wurm, and a Hydra. We can use the Bramble Wurm from the graveyard anyway, so I'm kind of leaning towards taking the Generous Scent. That would mean that next turn next turn green and 2 for the thing. Yeah, we can do both. We can't gain the life off of the food, but Bajuka Bog right on time. So we go down to 8, go down to 5, and back up to 10. So make a green. Cast out Generous Scent. Just do this now so that we don't risk getting got by being burnt out, surprisingly. Pass back. Back down to 8. We get short on squirrels, unfortunately, for cash grab. So we go down to 5. So you can go back up to 8. Down to 4. So this is effectively 2 mana still, a green and colourless still anyway. Let's lead on cash grab. Looks like repeat the same turn, or do we want to take a bramble wurm this time? So we can cast the bramble wurm to gain 5 and give us a trample attacker, or taking the generous end effect, it gives gives another food token, so it gains us another 3 life effectively. It's an interesting choice. Because they've got the snacker, I think I want to actually get a trample creature into play. So this will be green, so we'd only gain 9. Green, 3, 5, 6, and then we've not played a land, have we? So we go to 9 and then up to 12 when we crack the food. We'll attack with the Ent. I guess we could we recommission back? And again, either things we can recommission back, like an energy refractor, just to cycle this. It doesn't sound great. So we are out of life gain. So we've got 1 card draw left in the form of the energy refractor cycling. But we're kind of out of life gain at the minute. Down to 11. Block here, take 2 or 3. Just got a mountain. So I've got into the habit of putting the graveyard up here, and it's winding me up, so I don't know if it is annoying other people. So that's 12 power in play. Obviously if we attack, then this gets freed up. So I think I might lead on Conduit Pylons, just for the card selection. We don't want another power plant. And then I guess actually getting a Chromatic Star or an Energy Refractor is pretty similar. So white, and 1, get back a Chromatic Star. We'll make some green mana. So Eternal Witness. I'm leaning towards Eternal Witness being better than just jamming the stuff on the Hydra. I think we can put a Generous End into play, but I don't think we can cast it this turn. Perhaps if we adapt this, then they decide to kill it. Let's do this on the or we can get back the next one Hydra for just guarantee kill them next turn. I guess maybe it's not quite guaranteed, but it's not far off. I guess I can do that with the Banner Hide Crew Shock anyway. Three, 5, 6, 7, so 5 and a green. Yeah, so I can get the generous and I just can't crack the food yet. So got blockers for their creatures. We're at 8. They've got 3 cards in hand. No artifacts for Metalcraft, so Galvanoplast is out of the picture. We just have to hold. Down to 5. Down to 2. Oh. They don't get there, and we can, let's play our forest, doesn't really matter. Reinforce 2 onto this. Get back. Next one Hydra. Bestow that here. Attack for 23. So, I feel like we're definitely running on the hot end of our opponent's draws, but I will continue to take it. So, I had a load of Moments Peace, but that's more from one I read. If they're actually gone just burning us out, Moments Peace seems a lot worse. We do have our 7 big chunks of life gain. Maybe Ulamog's Crusher's actually alright here. Alright, it's probably 2. 4 seems a lot of Crushers. This is a matchup where the Recommission Evolution Witness stuff's good. Scattershot Archer can, I guess it can block a gold, it can block an Epicure. that's some high impact side, but it can block an Epicure and it can deal with Sneaky Snackers. Is that enough? And then maybe cut the 2 Crushers. So again, Crusher I think I'm going to have on the play in this matchup. I don't think I want it on the draw. Yeah, we need to be gaining life on our turn 4 as opposed to having something that interacts with them on turn 5. So we have some lands and some spells. We'll lead on the mine now because we've got the energy refractor as colour fixing. We do get back a snacker. Did I have any great build? I don't think I did. I was looking at a build earlier. I was looking at a sub build earlier that did, but I've since cut it. The opponent's got 4 power flyers in play on turn 3, which is pretty nice. Depending on what we draw, obviously cash grab is an obvious option, but just dropping a 2/3 Hydra into play to get bolted isn't the end of the world. We can try and assemble Tron, and that's 8 mana, so next time we could, yeah, if we just say we'll go down to 10, next time we'll gain 3 life and have our hard to kill blocker. I'm not in love with this position, not expecting to win this game on the win this game from this position, but I think if we just play this, we don't actually assemble our Tron. We're never gonna, they bolt it, we take 4, and we've not done anything else with our turn. At least this way we're firming up our position by having a gigantic blocker. So we're going to go down to 7, back up to 10, down to 6. And then if we manage to survive this turn, which seems very unlikely, a 5 I guess we go down to because they can tap the Epicure, we can cash grab and hope that we mash something good, but so I think this kills us. Yeah, we've got Caretake Xaxes. I don't know whether it's fair to say that's kind of played raw stuff, but I feel like we're a turn away from being set up. So on the play, whether it was right or wrong, I am going to try and lean into crushing people. And I'll probably maybe I'll just cut all the recommissions for a scatter shot. So our plan now is to play a turn 4 Crusher and ride that to victory. Gonna mulligan this. It's got no life gain and no kind of sign of assembling Tron. So this has our life gain, but only 1 land. This hand, it's definitely the best 7-card hand of the lot. If we put back a Generous and an Energy Refractor, and just hope that we find a way to assemble Tron into Bramble Wurm. Putting back the Energy Refractor is fine because we've got the first forest anyway. I'm keeping this because it's a Cyclone, so whatever it is we're having to do. Aha! Get got! I'm going to cycle this now into a green. And then just play a mine. It does mean that we can't spike, so cycling means we can't spike this on turn 3. If we did naturally draw the Tron piece, but hopefully this slows them down if they spend a turn bolting it. If not, obviously we can get some value and do some of our mulligan. This opponent has helped out by dressing us and bricking, sorry. So we assemble Tron. Do we want to adapt first? If we adapt first, play this, then next turn it's two to crack it. So it basically just means that we're oh no, because we don't actually have the Tron up first, do we? So sorry, assemble. If we adapt first, the next turn we have to spend 2 mana to play the Tron, or to assemble the Tron. So expedition map. Get the Urza's Tower. Play an Urza's Tower. Attack for 2. Hopefully, if the opponent is on 2 lands, then they don't have the velocity through there. Although two kitchen imps definitely goes a long way to increase that. I was going to say they don't have the velocity to get through their 7 cards in hand before we gain a bunch of life. Guess we can play the Mind of My Hand. Oh no, we can adapt first to get back the star. Play star, yeah. It just draws us an extra card through the deck. And we still get to play the bramble wurm. Gain 5, attack for 4. Yeah, I'm glad that we put that together. Obviously, getting in for an extra 2 points of damage and having the and still being able to play this. And now we're wow, that's an aggressive attack. I guess it's not because they can't block our creatures profitably because it's huge and got trample, but I'm branching out into side effects now. We are certainly doing the big dumb green creature thing, aren't we? 2-0, and we're continuing to steal matches with just green-white monster Tron. So it gets beyond the play again in round 3. Gonna keep. Don't love it. We can play a turn 3 cash grab. That's something to be excited about, right? And obviously we've got quite a lot of spikes and good draws. Maybe, that doesn't sound very convincing as an argument to keep a hand that we've got a lot of cards in our deck that are better than the ones in our hand. Put the fear in them. So we can scry first. That was funny to me. Ubermore's Crusher and get on out of here. If they are fairies, then Crusher's just hilarious. Don't spell pierce me. Don't do it. Yeah, that's fine. Be fairies, that's fine. So we've got turn 3 cash grab, and we're proud of it. I got ninja. So if they've got a ninja, I'll do this main phase as opposed to let them hold up their 2 mana again. Oh. No, this is only a 2/1, isn't it? Ugh. 2/1 is pretty small. Don't spell pierce me again. Yeah. So I think we're just taking any land we see. It happens to be a Tron piece. And then next turn we're going to try and play a Nyxborn Hydra and hope it holds down the fort and doesn't just get snapped back. The ninjas are flying. We've got 2 mana for a counterspell, which is unfortunate. Don't think we can afford to play anything else. Like playing an Evolution Witness to just trade is not going to get us anywhere. So we've got some, obviously in this case they're all ground creatures. We've got some Scattershot archers for this matchup. Oh, these didn't attack. Don't really want to just... I said previously that the Witness isn't doing a lot, but I don't just want to get myself spell stuttered. They can keep counterspelling me, that's fine. Getting a spell stutter and letting them ninja that back is too much. We get on to 9. This opponent gets to do a lot of looting. Gotta think there's probably more play to it from the opponent's side than ours, but... Is it mine? Mine, please, mine? That's not mine. It's not very castable. Still just going to be on playing Witness. Don't give them a spell target until we can. They just play one out anyway, showing us that they had it. But yeah, we've gotten through 2 counterspells. If we can draw a mine and start just playing bramble worms, maybe we've got enough. But let's see. They've got enough interaction to keep us off with what we are intending to do. So they've discarded one intruder already. I think I'm just going to block and risk getting blown out by another one. I don't think adapting this is on the cards. Sure. Doesn't matter too much what it is. They snap back a different ninja so they can pick up their sprite. So we are still on mine for the bramble worm or bust. So we need to put a 4-power creature into play, so this gets spell stuttered. You can play the other one and crack it. Oh, it doesn't get spell stuttered. One, two, three, four. So we 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not technically dead unless they have another mutagenic growth or counterspell that we're not seeing. That's a counterspell. So I guess they mostly counter creatures, but we weren't very good at assembling the Tron combo. Innermost Crusher has got to get out here, and then we're just on make some big flying blockers and hope that kind of overpowers them. Don't think we want any of this. Maybe a Vine to the Bastard. I'm pretty cold on 1-mana spells that just get spell stuff to sprited, but I guess we've got the Scatter Shot. Yeah. So what would I cut for these? I kind of like everything else more. So we are on the play again. Have to mulligan, although I like basically any hand with an X-Born Hydra. Yeah. Oh, that's ugly. Keep and bottom the bramble worm or the energy refractor. Probably the energy refractor. So turn 1 Crass, turn 2 Malevolent Rumble. Turn 3 Hydra. It's cool. It does stuff. Whether it is enough, we will see. Not the land I was hoping to draw. I feel like we have to just take the archer and it just use it as a threat to keep them off of spell stuttering. It's so rough. We don't actually have another green source to be able to Hydra, and then if they counter it. Okay. I wasn't expecting them to let us to play the ninja and let us resolve the archer. And what does that tell us about their hand? They think they've got some answer to this. Because we've drawn the energy refractor, it makes my life a bit easier. I just play that anyway. I think I'm going to throw the spawn into a block. The other thing is that this, I know these are 7 mana from the graveyard. That's very expensive. And if I keep this back, I can double. I know this has to be 2 mana to double spell. Snap. Yep. So green 1, 2. So I can lead with Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, lead with Malevolent Rumble, see if we find the Tron piece. If they interact with this, we can play this. I should have played the power plant first, so that we had access to pay for spell pierce, but it's not. Take the map, play the power plant, play a scatter shot. See what they've got. I don't feel too bad about this position, actually. As long as I don't get blown out with a mutagenic growth in combat somehow. I think I can just block and keep them off of some more card draw. They keep snapping away. So map. Crack it. Oh no, oh, that was annoying. So we can still cash grab, and if we find... So if we cash grab, if we find a Tron land, we can play it. Otherwise, we just play the mine and Scattershot Archer. But they get to get in for 4. I don't want to just play the Hydra and get blown out by a... yeah, if I play the Hydra, I risk just getting blown out by mutagenic growth, so off of that. So we do find an Urza's Tower. We are slow, they're doing their best to slow us down, but we're keeping this in play as long as we can. We're putting this back into play as many times as we can. And we're up to the point now where we can start playing bramble worms and the like. Obviously drawing one of our sideboard cards has come a long way. Their Annul was really good, to be fair, but we eventually got there off the, what do you call it, other one, for the cash grab. So we can keep this tapped down, but that taps them out of mana. That's not all bad. So they're holding up a null on this, which is a pain. Does the recommission do anything? Not really. Not yet. So green 6 for a bramble 1. Brah. And then I can play this as a 3/4. So I can't really block the which means I can't block the ninjas very well with it, but I can block some of the derpy stuff. And then obviously we can banner hide onto it to make it as big as it needs to be. I've used 2 snaps. I've used this snare master sprite. I mean, like, Bind the Monster used to be in these decks. I don't know if it still is. If I block here and get like double mutagenic growth or something, I'm going to be so sad. So they snap their own snare master sprite. That's quite fun. What, tap the bramble one? Yep. So that's an interesting position. I can block this and get blown out, get got by mutagenic growth. But these are going to die to the snare master sprites anyway. The mutagenic growth is going to what was I going to say? The mutagenic growth would be the same as the card they draw off this anyway. I think I have to let them draw this time. If they have double mutagenic growth, yeah, whatever. At least it's 2 cards out of the hat, not 1. And then we can, you know, reinforce, scavenge. Sorry, that's that keyword. Onto this to make it big enough to block. Make it big enough so it can't get got. They're playing that into the onboard scatter shot, which is a bit worrying. I guess that's some mutagenic growth again, isn't it? Yeah. So if we play a 1-drop, they're probably going to. We play a 1-drop, they can spell stutter and then save their spell stutter. We can get away with playing a 2-drop. So. And then green 6, 7. You're killing me, Bannerhide Krishok. You're killing me. Guess I can get back a star. It's just a way to draw a card. That's pretty nice. Do we want to make another creature, or do we want to put this on the Scattershot Archer? I think we just make another huge creature. I might be a bit sneaky and cast it for 6, not 7, so that we can try and resolve the... if they counterspell it, we can resolve the Chromatic Star. They don't counterspell it, so... if I hold this up, if I hold up the scatter shot, it means that they can mutagenic growth and get in for the extra 2 damage, but they save one of these, but I'm not too concerned about that. Whether I should be or not, I don't know. So if we do this now, we have to do this now, otherwise they can ninja. Let's see what they're playing with. Playing with a load of air. Expect that we're going to get, I expect they're going to get got by mutagenic growth on one of them, but we're still rocking some huge creatures. So, I mean, they were snapping us all over the place, but I don't know about binds. I feel like we're just going to get it stuck in our hand like that Chromatic Star situation. Right. So we do actually have 2 mana. So I can go turn 1 this map, turn 2 Forest Cycle map. Hand looks sketchy. It's not as good as, it doesn't have explicitly Scattershot Archer. But obviously it's drawing a Tron piece away from being pretty nice. If it naturally draws a Tron piece and we can turn 3 Tron, that's tasty. We do get to resolve both maps. Now, the only problem is they are going to have a ball presence. So we're taking 3, they're looting at least once a turn, or take 4 and they draw and loot every turn. Some serious risk of being tempoed out, but not even a good sign that they feel comfortable enough to play this. I don't think we can rely on, if we rely on this hitting a land, we get a spawn. Maybe we do have to try and spike it. Yeah. I started off with I'll just play the map, but I think we have to try and get lucky on the rumble. We do hit a Tron land, so we can play that, we can Tron next turn. We can get to block the ninja to stop them drawing a card. We doing the turn 4 sure. So we are doing the turn 4 Tron thing. Whether that's going to be enough is still up for debate. We are quite caught up on only having the one green source. Again, there's his tower. So we can just try and play a Khrushchev, which has the benefit of trading with either of these through a mutagenic growth. So if they have a snap, it's not great. But when is it? And then we can star into our second spell for the turn, which is probably going to be another Malevolent Rumble. So now if we star, they can sprite us. So I'm going to, whether it's right or wrong, I'm going to be patient. They've used one snap. We know they've got the spells, the spell something snare. Snare something sprite? You know the one. But if they're spending 3 mana to do with that, that's okay. So they are on bind. So we can get a green source at the end of turn. We could get a green source. I think we might get the Surveil land. Just we've got the 2 recommissions. We can't afford to have the 2 dead cards we can't cast. So we can lead on evolution on this. That gets countered. Play our conduit pylons. Keep this on top. Try and recommission back the evolution witness. And then if they counter this as well, we get to star and recommission again. So, do we want the generous Ent or another generous Ent Hydra or another green source? I guess we could always cycle the generous Ent into another green source. And then the 4 cards. One's a spell snare master sprite. If they have a spell stutter, If they have a I guess if they have a mutagenic growth, we just die. If they have a spell stutter, we'd need to play a creature. But they spell thingy sprite, and they're gonna have two mana next turn for their that means they have 2 mana. They have 2 fairies in play next turn, so they can actually counter these. Yeah. Turns out I don't think I can afford to play around the spell stutter. The idea being that they're gonna do the sprite thing next. They're gonna do the tap thing next turn, so they're gonna have 2 mana for the sprite, and then let's add a green and a rumble, and we're gonna. Oh, it's great! We get to draw the Hydra, then rumble. We're kind of just hoping to put a 7/6 bramble thing in the graveyard, so they can't interact with the activated ability. So they counter this. Interesting spot. We know that we're actually really caught up on green pips, so if they'd have just countered the chromatic star, it would have worked pretty well for them. But we can just throw this in front of anything because we've got the recommission to get it back. Snap's pretty rough. So we can play both of these. I guess we can't really afford to put many counters on the Hydra if we need to crack the food. I feel like we're putting up a decent fight. If this was 1 card deeper, it would have felt pretty safe. And we can just play that. And then, even if they counter it, we gain 5. I mean, they get to do the whole draw thing, loot thing, but it guarantees we don't die. It's better than guaranteeing we die. That's a big resolve. That is a big resolve. Then we can just play a 3/4 Hydra. So they can tap this down next turn. But if they don't have a counter spell and we can resolve the end as well, we're getting closer and closer. Very interesting game to just be on, trying to jam your big dumb green creatures through. So if we block here, they have a mutagenic growth, we just get reps. If we block here, at least we trade, but they get to draw a card. I think I want to. Yeah, I can't play around 2 mutagenic growths, that's insane. We get down to 4. What did they pick up? They picked up a Fairy Seer. They play that, they've got no counterspell in hand. They've drawn 2 to see if they find another counterspell. So if we lead on a rumble, we might get spells stuttered. If we lead on Generous and it gets counterspelled, I think I need to get more options. So yeah, we can crack the food if we do this. Oh baby. Bramble wurm that is. Oh man, so much thinking for big dumb green creatures. I didn't sign up for this. So I think I'm going to be exiling the bramble wurm. I think I want to be recommissioning I'm exiling the bramble wurm. I'm recommissioning the evolution witness if I get the chance. Am I taking the chromatic star or just the crew shop? Crew shop means that they have to think about combat maths as well. You just play it. Crazy, I know. I can't take the star. I can't see myself taking the star. We can get the star back with the evolution witness. So 5. We should have taken that bloody star. Because we're short on green pips again. So if we play the Generous and out now, I think we have to forest cycle, don't we? We've only got 1 forest. We've not played a land for the turn. So essentially 3 mana is locked up in bramble wurming so we don't die. We can play the evolution witness. This can't get spell stuttered. So they counterspell it. So now we can make a white mana, recommission, get back the evolution witness, get back chromatic star. So bramble wurm. So it's an interesting situation. We're trying to basically tie up as much of their mana, gate them on mana, use our mana advantage, and we got the by getting them to counterspell this first. And they're going wide. I don't like it. Again, we're out of life gain effects. We do have the Evolution Witness Banner Hide combo. Which I think, oh, no attacks, you love to see it. Let's lead on Energy Refractor. So I've got 3-0. Wow. So the first 2 games I feel like we stole. This one I do feel like we earned it. There's some interesting lines to take where we're trying not to get a spell settled. Maybe they just cut it. They can't have done. They know that there's so many 1 and 2 drops in the deck. But yeah, just the staying power, like the Recommission Evolution Witness loop, has really paid off. They're able to tap down some big creatures and allow them to be able to keep pushing in for damage. But I'm proud of that one. I'd hate to rewatch it and find out I made a load of mistakes. Right, what's next? Welcome back. We're on the play again in round 4. We've been on the play every game this league. Take whatever we can get. And we can keep. Might have to work out what order we play things. I think we don't have a way to dig for a combo or dig for the Tron, but we've got 2 of the pieces. We've got an Energy Refractor, a green source if we do need it. So it looks like mono red. Bramble might be coming in big. If we can just natural Tron, that would be pretty fantastic. So not quite what we ordered. So do we want to Chromatic Star into Malevolent Rumble to find the Tron? Or do we want to just Energy Refractor? I think, so obviously the star, if we drew 1 card and hit it, the star would let this bramble earlier. Let's fire this off. I guess if this is a tower, we'd wish we just played the Refractor. Power Plant, and we'll play a Malevolent Rumble. Tower, 1 time. So no tower, but we do get an Expedition Map, and we get to put a... so we get the Expedition Map, and we get to put a Bramble Wurm in the bin. So both of those are pretty good. And if we play the Expedition Map, then we can Energy Refractor in our next turn. Otherwise, if they kill the spawn somehow, we can't map. So I'm just going to play this now. Crazy play from them. It would be a crazy play from them to bolt and trap the spawn, but they experimental synthesizer and to end the festivities or something. I guess there's ways it is plausible. So they are going wide here. They've got their 3rd land drop, and we are hoping there's no bushwhackers. We'll take no bushwhackers. So we can fetch now for the tower. If we play the Rumble, so if we play the Energy Refractor, we have 1 mana floating which doesn't let us do anything. Whereas if we play the cast, we can play the tower next turn and play Bramble Wurm. So I think that's got to be the plan. So let's hold on no bushwhackers. No bushwhackers one time. Well, second time. Bushwhack would be really good. And it is. So that's 16 damage. So we get to play a bramble wurm, gain 5, back up to 6. Oh yeah, they tap their one-way takes up. So that's a pretty tough draw to beat from mono red. Sideboarding, I want some Moment Piece. I don't want any Ulamog's Crushers. I guess the problem we've got is we don't really have any way to mop up tokens very well. And what else don't we want? Probably just cut 2 of the cash grabs. I'm quite keen on the evolution, like this combo. Crew Shocks, you know, aren't fantastic, but at least that's something we can play to stabilise the board. The cash grabs probably seem the worst card. So yeah, I think we just weren't beating that kind of nut draw from mono red to double rebirth bushwhacker. I mean, we had another bramble wurm in hand for the next turn, one in the graveyard of exile, but the bushwhacker turns are just too much. So hopefully we can hold up some. We can draw some Moment Piece to hold up for those turns. I'm going to guess that opponents having a look for, you know, what list we might have or something, or we can find something similar. So I don't think they'll find anything. So back after a bit of a wait, we will play first. So we've got 2 land double Moments Piece before I cycle this. I'm going to keep off the back of that, but obviously we don't draw a 3rd land, we're in quite a bit of trouble. Forest, get a General Ascent and play, get a cycle of General Ascent, at least gives us the option of playing the game. No, we are now out of General Ascent, so they're dead from now on. So we hit an Urza's Mine. I'm going to take this turn off to play an Energy Refractor, just proccing 2 damage. Doesn't seem as good. The trick will be, can we get up to double spelling Moment Piece and do something else as well in the same turn? Be the kind of crucial test. So we are going to Moment Piece this turn, whatever they do. Again, the idea with the Moment Piece being in the deck is that we have a bunch of ways to mill ourselves over. So hopefully turn the Moment Piece on. It looks like we're flashing back a Moment Piece from the graveyard, just more mana efficient to do it that way. hoping to draw a 4th land. So, as we say, we're out of forest now. At least we can discard a bramble wurm soon. Yeah, if the opponent is on a handful of burn spells and these are the only creatures they have, then the fog plan won't really do enough to get us there, get us over the line. We've got another moment's peace. Opponent's drawn a lot of lands over there. So we do hit another land. We can play a Crew Shock, which I think we have to. We just need to get onto the board. So this should survive 2 burn spells, or 6 damage. They have a Bushwhacker this turn, and that's pretty rough. That looks like a Bushwhacker, or using a blood token. Oh no. Yep. I stand by, we kind of need to actually play out creatures. We can't just, if we'd have held up Moment's Peace and they held all this back, we'd just get ourselves in this trouble next turn. But boy, did we just get run over. I think we're on the play again in round 5. Easy mulligan. Another easy mulligan. And a pretty weak keep. I'm going to put back the Crusher, so far away. Put back the Hydra, because we're going to need to do quite a lot of digging. And hope we're against a matchup that just gives us plenty of time. So we can turn 1 star, turn 2 cash grab. So opponent top, which is a sign. Draw first before we play the land in case we draw the Tron piece, for example. We find a Tron piece here. Oh no. Are we going to get fogged? We've got nothing against... Oh no, we can crush them. We could crush them. Just have to get through Arcane Denials. Right, we've got a plan. Nobody else plays blue-green, right? So, play Chromatic Star. Make a mana, draw a card. Play Nurse's Tower, play a cash grab. Second, Nurse's Tower with Conduit Pylons. So we've got the energy refractors, so the pylons don't seem too useful. Although if we take the pylons, what we can pay 3 mana to energy refractor to recommission an expedition map, sorry. So this is the other very expensive way to assemble Tron. I'm going to take the pylons for that reason. Oh, it's fog. I was going to say, I kind of assume that we're like a massive dog in this, but we've got Scattershot Archer to deal with Murmuring Mystic tokens, and then I don't know how they can well, interact with, be a Ulamog's Crusher, right? So we can top this. Or do we just want to bottom it? Add a white, try and recommission an expedition map. So we're, what, turn 5? Assemble Tron. I guess we did move to 5, that probably didn't help. Crack the map, get a power plant. Play an energy refractor. Card. I guess we can cycle another energy refractor now. And then play the Malevolent Rumble last. So forest or expedition map. Oh, we're milling ourselves pretty quick though, aren't we? Not in love with either option. I'll probably take the map. I think just take the forest. I don't really want to be mapping into a trying to map into like an Earth's tower just seems very slow. It's not like having a huge Hydra is going to make a difference. I've got to think that the the Ulamog Crush is going to kill them quick enough. It's not like having or the Annihilator Trigger might hopefully kill them quick enough. It's not like having a bunch of extra power on it. It's going to make a difference. There's a tower anyway. So add a green mana, play Malevolent Rumble. So still not found our 2 of Annihilator guy. We can take a Crushrock just as a way to put counters on a take the Crushrock as a way to put counters on a thing. Oh, what's it called? Evolution Witness. Just take the bramble wurm, beat them down. So 2, 4, 6. I was wondering if I can surveil this turn and still play it. 2, 4, 6, 7. Green. Right, a turn 6, 7, 6. That will put the fear in them. Play a Conduit Pylons. Don't want another bramble wurm. So I feel like this is going to be an okay matchup. I feel like we're going to lose game 1 and get there game 2 and 3. Well, I guess we can start putting them in the fog zone. Oh, we actually need the green source, don't we? Bestow this here for 1 million. At least we can make them start using them. hilarious that the third and fourth Crusher that are in the sideboard that I was really regretting having might even come up. You know, the first Crusher's pretty good, Annihilator 2. The second one, that's when you're really crushing them. That's when they really know about it. So they're going to stay at 7 cards. We do not have a lot going on. I could recommission to just draw a card off of like a Chromatic Star, but I'm not too interested in that. Basically, if I'm identifying how I want to try and win this is through Annihilator triggers, then I want, the first one get Arcane Denial, the second, then if I draw a Evolution Witness, I can play that. I'd have to get Arcane Denialed or recommission the Evolution Witness. So we've got the Crew Shock. So if they don't counter the Evolution Witness, we can Crew Shock to put more counters on it to get back the big Dumbo again. Otherwise, we can recommission the Evolution Witness and have more bites at the apple. Recommissioning to get back an Expedition map seems an awful slow way of going about things. Might over tapped by one here, I think. But these are the cards in our deck, so we're just going to play them. It's another bramble worm. I'll play the power plant. Not that I think it will matter, but some of the things we're describing of like, oh, I forgot to attack. Oops. I think I'm just going to scoop in a second. We're at the point now where even if we do, so I'm talking about it taking a few turns to resolve the Crusher, and even if it does resolve, if they decided they need to play aggressively, I think they could probably mill us out from here. So I'll try and play the Evolution Witness, and then take one more draw. And if that is not a Crusher, then I'll scoop them up. They've got enough mana to replicate twice. That's 12 cards milled. They just have to find that, or find the second Stream of Thought, or shuffle it back in. So, as I say, I'm pretty sure even if we did rip it, it wouldn't be enough. Let's attack, see if they forget. They remember to fog, and we will scoop. So, it's crushing time. As I say, I think I want the Scattershot Archer just to, if this is the plan, we want them to be sacrificing, permanents that aren't 1/1 tokens. Is Vines of the Vastwood better than anything else? I'm trying to think what they might, if they might have like a Bind the Monster or something. That seems like it would be unlikely. Back in a sec. Back, having checked one or two fog lists. They seem to run quite a lot of Graveyard Hate, but they don't seem to run any way of interacting with a creature once it's resolved. So Crusher should be good if we can get it through their Arcane Denials. If that's the case, I'm going to cut the cash grabs just to stop, not milling ourselves too easy. I mean, it could well be the bramble worms or, you know, roughly anything else in this. But I think I'm relatively happy with that. I don't really want to be in the same position as I was last time, where we just essentially milled over all of our, you know, milled ourselves 30 odd cards and they could potentially race us. Well, on one land we do get to draw a second card, and then we've got rumbles and a map to start putting stuff together. I think we can do better on a multi-6. This is a multi-6 that I think is better. We can put back the bramble worm. I don't think the bramble worm is going to do anything for us in the matchup anyway. So it's not the quickest hand, but we are 2/3 of the way to Tron. We've got a Malevolent Rumble and we've got access to coloured mana. So let's surveil first. I'm going to top this. Play the star. Pass. So topping the rumble just to give us as many shots at finding Tron slash crushers as possible early on. So we can tap this for green, draw an extra card. Yeah, if we do this, we can rumble off the forest. So we'll take a Noodlemog's Crusher, noting we are milling over the other one. So if we play the forest, we know we're another turn off of getting to crush them. Another turn off Tron, but so we take this expedition map. Then I might as well play it and get it through an Arcane Denial. You know, I think it's pretty unlikely they would choose to choose to Arcane Denial the map, but at least this way we've, you know, locked up getting Tron into play. This is a pretty embarrassing turn. We actually can't do anything. We can, we can fetch ourselves that Urza's Mine. But the recommission doesn't have, you know, a target that we want to cast on that does anything. We get back an energy refractor, but I'm not gonna be celebrating that anytime soon. So they're going to have 3 lands in play. Let's hope there's not an if there's not an Arcane Denial, I feel very good. Otherwise, we'll have to try and draw a Witness or the 3rd or 4th Crusher. Well, let the crushing begin. Obviously, they could still. Okay, so they get to Paducah Boggers. They could still have a Murmuring Mystic, and we don't yet have a Scattershot Archer to, you know, counteract it. But this is a mana double strip mine this turn. Yeah, my guess is that if they this is that if they could play a Murmuring Mystic that turn, they might be quick enough, but otherwise I have my doubts. I'm not going to Shock this. I think this turn it's just going to get fogged anyway. Get 2 lands off them. Yep, fogged. And we can draw 2 cards. We can draw off the Energy Refractor and cycle this for a cycle, use this into a cycle land. You love to see it, don't you? Oh, this is so funny. After getting just crushed by mono red twice, this game right here is everything I needed to cheer back up. So we have a plan. It worked in game 2. We have to hope it does the same in game 3. I might bring the cash grabs back in over the bramble ones and just say that I am, just trying to race to put this combination together. I'm a bit wary putting so many cards in the bin. Obviously, we know they'll run Bajuka Bog, but seeing it, I don't know, brings it home a bit. So yeah, we are racing to put, like I say, the second Ulamog Crusher into play is, I guess, the point where we're, I reckon, we've won. And we'll keep this hand. We have Tron. Don't have anything to do with it, but that's overrated anyway. I'll cycle the Generous into a forest. I can do it now just so that we don't draw a forest. Let's thin the deck out. This way we can cycle the slippery cards. We don't need a green source anymore. See, I think next turn's probably Urza's land. Cycle away this. Do we get to conclude with a natural? So we get to conclude with a natural Tron game. Do we actually get to do anything with natural Tron? Let's just cycle now. So Tron isn't actually doing anything for us. We can cash grab, or we can resolve an evolution witness whilst they're tapped out. I think I'm going to cash grab. I'll take the Scattershot Archer because, as I say, I think we're, so as I say, the Mystics are well and truly on our radar, and we can play a map. So our forest is still in our deck. It's kind of annoying that we can't Oh, we play this, see if they counter it. They counter it, I expect with the mist, with the evolution witness, we can get it back. So we can complete Tron, but that doesn't do anything for us. If we forest cycle now, it removes a dead card from our deck, a land that we don't want to draw, and we can't really do anything with that extra mana anyway. So let's complete the Tron, and then I think we're probably going to be cycling this into a Conduit Pylons. Whether it's, maybe this is bad to just basically say against TurboFog, like removing a land from my deck is better than putting an extra 5/6 into play, but I think I stand by it. Let's use until the end step. We've already used our cycle land, so the next best utility land we've got is Surveil 1. And then we are in a bit of an awkward situation on this turn where if we I was going to say, if we drew a Crusher, we wouldn't actually be able to activate it straight away. Sorry, we wouldn't be able to evolution witness activate it straight away anyway. So let's attack for 1. And I think we're playing Conduit Pylons, playing the second evolution witness. So Surveil 1. That's going on the top. I guess we can play the map. I can't think of any reason not to. So if they counter, we can basically evolution witness in response to Paducah Bog trigger. We could get into a funny situation where they know that, obviously they now know we've got the evolution witness triggers. So I think we have to wait until our next turn to actually activate so that we don't get got by Growth Spiral in a bog. So it doesn't matter if they Growth Spiral it or just play it from hand. The point is we can respond to the actual trigger. So we're drawing 2 cards here. I will accept more Unamox Crushers. Those are not Unamox Crushers. So they bog. In response, I'm going to try and adapt. I'm going to target Unamox Crusher. So I guess we don't know whether they had a Growth Spiral for that, but we got the situation we wanted out of it. Then we can crack the map just to thin our deck 1. I guess we'll take Conduit Pylons again. Never casting this, even if we'd taken a land other than the Conduit Pylons. So let's just play this one. graveyard this. And then we can attack. I guess Tangle is probably their best, like their other way of interacting with the Crusher. It's worth keeping a thought out for. But yeah, our plan is still have 2 Crushers in play. That's the start end of the plan. They're having to draw a bunch now. I guess it's potentially looking for another Arcane Denial. Opponent draws up to 12. They don't pick up the bulk. That's interesting. Let's bear that in mind. Growth Spiral, just to put a land in. So I feel like I'm going to get another Crusher. I'm going to start leaving the Scatter Shot at home, because getting him tangled is much worse than getting somebody else tangled. Yeah, the other stuff tangled. I guess we can also play this. Oh, that's interesting. If we play this first, they can't even counter it, because if they counter, they're not holding up a fog. So I'm going to attack for 12. Even if they tangle, we can attack with the other stuff. Yeah. I think now is the time to just mash a big Hydra into play as well. I can't see it doing anything else for us. I can't see them interacting with the Crushers. Don't think they have anything to do it, so leaving up like the Evolution Witness didn't do anything for us. Guess now they need to find another Tangle. Or just keep playing through lands. And potentially milling us. But we are going to stop playing out any, stop playing out any of our nonsense. I think basically the only thing we play are Ulamog Crushers, probably some creatures, but although if they can be getting closer to having, they can make more mana sources for when they have a they can have more mana sources for when they have a Stream of Thought, but it's going to be hard for them to keep making 2 land drops a turn. So I guess actually getting a huge replicate off should be pretty tricky for them. So we can play a mine, and then we can do the Bannerhide Crew Shop trick to make the Evolution Witness huge. And they concede 4-1 with a very sketchy. What am I looking at here? Oh, that's the next one. So wrap up time. We went 4-1 with Green White Monster Tron, which I think we outperformed what this deck would do on average. We got very lucky against Brood Scale. I think we got very unlucky against Mono Red, but you can see why people are on Sandstorm. Although we could say Moment's Peace fog a big Bushwhacker turn, we can't actually then prevent the tokens from killing us. We've got no way of stopping them from just chump attacking for the next couple of turns and chipping us down that way. I think all of the other decks I played, I would kind of recommend somebody to actually try and pick up if you wanted to play Pauper. I think for this one, I would only recommend it if you explicitly want to try and play Green Tron, like Creature Tron. All the other decks have this thing where you get a nut draw, you get some free wins. This felt a lot like when I was going through my Tortured Resistance phase a good while back. You can win. We went 4-1, we won more games than we lost, but you always need a bit of help, whether that's your opponent's getting unlucky, potentially making some misplays. You don't really get the free wins like you do with with the good decks. Hopefully you saw some of the appeal from the kind of toolbox kit down this end of the deck. Bramble Wurm's great, Hydra's great, Crusher I think is speculative, but Generosent's great. I like this combo, and I wanted something in this slot that we could play when we didn't have Tron and just play something big to the board. Whether this wants to be 4 or not, I don't know. I think ultimately what this deck is missing is a big 7-mana payoff for Tron. If you manage to put that together on turn 3, you get to do something, and currently I just don't think that's there. There's not the payoff compared to if you're playing Blue Terror. You can often play a couple of 5/5s on turn 3, say often. Feels like my opponents always do. Whereas in this, you're kind of looking at your payoff is on turn 4 or 5. Maybe you can play a Bramble Wurm or an Unamox Crusher that might, doesn't have Ward 2. It might just get killed, and you're just behind from there. So yeah, I don't think the meta really suits it. I think red is too quick for you. I think Brood Scale is always going to be horrible. Maybe if everyone is playing kind of mid-range creature decks, you can play bigger creatures, but I'm not really sure that's even true. Chrysalis seems like a real pain in the. Yeah, Chrysalis is a really good card. So yeah, this is my take on Green Monster Tron.